So we've got this cool thing over here that's a leg press attachment for the power arm. It's a really cool little deal. There's some things that I like more about it than a traditional leg press, and there's some things that I like less about it. But overall, I actually like it better than a traditional leg press or a hack squat or things like that. It's a way to unload the spine and still work the legs. So if you come on over here, you'll kind of see this setup. You see the foot plate. That looks familiar, you know what that is. You see these are going to be the safety pins, and I'm going to show you how that works in a second. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up an incline bench. I like to find reference points using where the break and the mats are. So the mats have a little bit of gap in between them, and I use that as a reference point where I set up. Now I'm going to increase this to whatever level that I'm comfortable with. The cool thing about this is the more that you go backwards, if somebody or yourself has knee stuff or hip stuff or back stuff, you allow more room to be able to do this leg strengthening exercise without stressing those knee injuries. So I've got this set up at an angle that works for me. I want to make sure that I lock it into place. So there's going to be this strap in here. I want the strap to hook onto the side. I want it above, in between this and this. If I go too high, it's not going to help me much. If I go too low, it's not going to help me much. But right in between is just right. Now this works like most tension straps. I'm just going to pull until it's relatively tight. You may have some shifting going on as it settles into position, especially as you get heavier on this. And that's okay. You're going to feel it before, nothing's going to flip over, everything feels very secure as you're in it. You come back around here, you can see me demonstrate now the leg press. So I'm going to get into position. I want to line up. Whatever my foot position is, maybe I've worked with my coach on a specific position, and I'm getting wider, maybe I'm narrower, whatever it is, you do what's comfortable for you. I'm going to slightly unload it and then reach forward. And I'm going to pull these safety stoppers in, because that's going to allow me to get a deeper range of motion. Press out, come in, press out, come in. For me, if I'm going for a good burn, I'm not going to fully lock out. I'm going to sit there, slight flexion, and I'm going to keep that tension. Now this is going to operate on a pendulum since you've got one point of the swinging happening, meaning that as it comes back up this way, it's going to get slightly lighter. I want to make sure that my butt is driving down into the bench and that my feet are in the position that I'm training for. Drive, 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 drive. We leave the red plates on here usually. It's 110 pounds. Because everybody can do that weight. Again, the pendulum effect means that as it gets to the top of that pendulum, it's going to be slightly lighter than it is as you fully extend or as you get to this middle spot. So that 110 pounds, I found even 80-year-old, 110-pound females can do that weight with relative ease. For the big people, if you're really strong, I mean, you can load it up. There's a limit on the load of 550 pounds. You can go heavier, but you're doing it at your own risk. I'm going to suggest using this as a volume and a reps for volume tool instead of an absolute strength exercise. You're going to get a lot more out of it getting that burn than you are trying to train your strength on this. So that's the leg press. That's how you set up. Hopefully that was helpful.